Why is everything that we do surrounded by work? Work, work, work. That's all we ever talk about and all we're ever obsessed about. And I just don't get it. There are so many things I could do with my time than work. I could be sleeping. I could be playing some video games. I could be playing the piano. I could be just watching a movie. I could be walking, touching grass, as they'd say. But for some reason, I'm supposed to want to work. And if I don't, then that's a bad representation of me. If I don't want to slave away, then I'm a bad person. If you don't want to slave away, then you're lazy. You're entitled. These are all the things that they keep saying. And I just wonder, why do you guys have such a hard-on for working? You guys can't think of a single thing else to do? Now, I understand back then there wasn't much of a choice, right? But I'm saying, none of you guys back then were like, maybe we could figure out a way where we wouldn't have to work. Or let me back up. Why do we work, right? To get ahead. Well, if we've been working for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, shouldn't we have amounted to something? Shouldn't we have done something to set it up where you don't have to work? But in this sick dystopian society, actually, work is compounded. So instead of working and things get easier, you work and things get harder. And you just keep blaming the next generation even more. And this obviously can't last. I'm a millennial. The Gen Zers won't be able to do all this. It's just not possible. And they don't even want, that's another thing. They talk this big talk about working hard and merit and all this other crap. But they don't even want to give you a job. They don't want you to actually work. It's just lip service. They're just lying. They're liars. They don't want you working hard, or they want you working hard for nothing. They don't want you to actually progress in life. They don't want what's best for you. It's a catch-22. And then let's say you make a good job, and then you're depressed and it's shitty and they treat you like crap. The only thing you're gonna hear, man, you better keep that job, man. This job, man, is gonna change your life, man. These pieces of paper that they hand you are so important to these individuals. Now I'll admit money is important now because they force you to make it important. Doesn't it make sense, right, for people to get paid dividends for this? Right? Like, we should be getting paid money. Say, oh man, we're not just gonna give out free money. Give out money, right? Because they're taking all the jobs away. And then, if you get a job, you'll get paid a lot more. Alright, let's say everybody gets $3,000 a month. I know that'd be kind of pushing it for, but I'm just saying, let's just hear it out. But if you go to work, you will get that 3,000 and you will make an extra 60K a year. Now, which is basically 100K a year. Don't you think that would make more sense, right? Because if you don't want to work, you don't have to. But if you do, you can afford, the extras in life, which you already will have, But if you want a Ferrari, if you want a bigger house, go out and get that. But it would be a much better system to set it up that way. Now I know this country, the whole world is all a scheme, so this will never happen, right, in this manner, but I'm just giving you an idea of what could be. And a lot of these boomers, I feel like, have an issue with this, and they just can't understand that no one wants to do this crap. Because they're like, oh, well, I did it back in my day, except it wasn't nearly as stressful back in your day. And even if you did, is that the goal? You work hard so that your kids don't have to work hard, right? No, it's not, because at the end of the day, that was just gaslighting. These parents don't want you to really succeed. They don't want you to really do better than them. They just want to say that. They just want to say that so that they can feel righteous and they can go to sleep at night. But the real truth is, they don't want you to do too well. They don't want you to be all the crap that they claim. They don't want you to actually get the fruits of labor from your parents, you know? Your parents will be angry because, oh, I worked for 20 years, why does my son not have to work? Which is so backwards. The things I do now, I'm trying to sacrifice so my son doesn't have to go through this. That's what it used to be about. But I realize people talk a good game, but they're not serious. They don't actually want you to be free because they were never fully free, so they can't let you have that. I don't understand why. If I work hard and my son gets to have a more fruitful life than me, I've won. But nobody looks at it like that because it's always about them. All we do is work. And it's funny because that part hasn't changed. Nothing has changed. Nobody has gotten into a better spot. We're all just wage slaves. And I just want to know, why do you guys want to work so much? What is so cool about coming? Now, I'm not saying I don't want to work. I mean, I don't want to work, but even just going down to a 3-day week and then, I don't know, I guess subsidize. I feel like people are always going to look at it bad because I say subsidizing or giving, but it's like, dude, why is that so bad when all these billionaires take all of our money? Nobody ever hates on that guy. This society is just ruined, man. It was never good, but I mean, it was good, but it was never great. People are just so easily manipulated. Myself included, because even though I talk a big game, I fell into the trap as well. You know, if I had done it right, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'd be free by now or something, you know. But I realize it is a bunch of luck. It's not really skill. It's a lot of nepotism, a lot of luck, and that's pretty much it. Because if you're not rich, your parents will want you to work really hard for everything you have, which I just find very strange. And there are a lot of people who take advantage and all this crap, but I feel like the reason those kids take advantage is because they haven't been taught real lessons. You know, there's a difference between just being rich and just giving a kid $1 million, or being rich and teaching the kid about some stuff and letting him build it, you know, alongside you. You know, it's like, you can't just give somebody a bunch of money without telling them anything. Of course they're going to do something stupid with it. There's no guidance to give. And that's why we're all just stuck working.